Council will call the meeting together. Thank you for your attendance. Thursday, May 7th. We haven't got a real burdensome agenda, but we'll make it interesting as well. We'll call the meeting to order. We will get my agenda up here. We'll begin by a land acknowledgement that the lands upon which we meet are the traditional territory of First Nations people, who have a long-standing relationship with the land, water, and regions of Southwest Middlesex. The nations along the banks of the Thames River include the Chippewa of the Thames, Oneida Nation of the Thames, Munsee Delaware Nation, and Delaware Nation of Moraviantown. We convey our respect to our First Nation neighbors and thank them for their contributions to our culture, community, our past, and partnerships in the future. We acknowledge that this is the beginning of a process, and we commit to a journey of listening, learning, and building relationships. We will begin the meeting. Are there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof of any council member? I haven't been advised of any. Seeing none, we'll go on for the confirmation of the agenda. It has been circulated. Are there any errors, omissions, or inclusions? Seeing none, may I have a mover and a seconder to accept the agenda as circulated? Ed, thank you. Councillor Myers, Councillor Emery, all in favor? It's carried. Delegations and presentations. There are none at this. No, there are none at this meeting. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Council will take our time. We'll go through those. Just get the attention of the chair. If you need to pull anything out, we'll look after it. Draft minutes of the regular meeting of council, April 22nd. Middlesex County highlights, April 28th. Middlesex London Health Unit, Board of Health meeting summary. And the Ministry of Energy Preparedness and Response Memorandum for Emergency Preparedness Week in 2026. And City of Greater Sudbury, resolution of support regarding the request to formally designate Greater Sudbury as a special economic zone. Town of Halton Hills, resolution of support regarding a request for a review of provincial municipal fiscal framework. And the last, United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry, resolution of support to amend the land transfer tax. Council, there's a recommendation to accept the consent agenda as printed in our agenda. Is there a mover and a seconder? Councillor Myers, Councillor McCollum, any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Committee of Adjustment, there are none. Public meetings, there are none. Howie, you don't have a public meeting here today, do you? Okay, just checking. Want to make sure. And staff reports will go on to Chief Administrator Officer Colleen. I understand that you're going to give us this. Council, this is an interesting report Colleen will be giving us. We're obligated to have a committee in an election year. And her message will include the partnering of this with the County of Middlesex to get a little more efficiency and save a little money. Colleen, you take the floor there.
So the report before you is just for the establishment of a joint compliance audit committee as part of the municipal election coming up. You do have to have a compliance committee in place by October 1st. So instead of going through the City of London as we've done in previous elections, this year through Middlesex County, the regional tiers have decided that we're going to come together and have our own compliance committee. So the terms of reference are attached to the report for your consideration.
Thank you, Colleen, very much. Council, if there's any additional information you might need or any questions, I'm sure there'll be some. Yes, Martin, go ahead, please. Councilor Vink.
Thank you, Mayor Al. Who decides who's on the committee and how many are on the committee?
Through the mayor, they're looking at 3 to 7 people that will be applying from all of the lower tiers in the municipality. So really, it's going to be made up of, I think some of the clerks from the municipalities are going to go through the applications and see who's most qualified to represent the municipalities as a whole. But it'll be about 3 to 7 people, depending on what kind of response we get.
If I could, Colleen, what about the auditing of the financial information of candidates? Is the committee responsible for that as well?
Your Mayor, no. What happens is the committee is just responsible for kind of like being a gatekeeper. So if a complaint comes into the clerk that they believe that someone who has been a candidate for the election has done something inappropriate or incorrect or fraudulent on the filing of any of their financial statements, that comes to the clerk. The clerk then brings it to the committee, and the committee appoints an auditor to go over that information. So it's actually an appointed auditor that goes over it. So that would be someone who has CPA credentials or someone of that nature who's qualified to do it. And the auditor brings that report back to the committee, and the committee decides from there how they're going to proceed. So that could mean if the auditor believes that there's a case to be made for something that's been done fraudulently, then it would be passed on and it would go through the court process at that time.
Understand. Any other questions? What about signage that did not respond? If complaints often come in about the location of signs and things of that nature in the election, that committee would not be responsible for that. Would that be a CAO that would mandate that?
My understanding is that the compliance committee is there specifically for financial statements. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you very much. Last call for questions. Seeing none, recommendations before you that we accept the recommendation to join up with the County of Middlesex on this compliance committee that will engage in any notification of fraudulent or incorrect accounting. Is your mover and a seconder for that? Councillor Vink, thank you. Seconder for that, Councillor Haggett. And all in favor? Carried. Colleen, thank you very much. Denise will be calling on you shortly. 8.3, 8.31. It's a tile drain loan application. 2601 Sabi, 2026. I think this would be the Sabi Nurseries. Council will be familiar with that. And it's the financial aspect of it. Would you like to engage council in your report here?
Thank you, Mayor Mayhew, and to council, good afternoon. In front of you, I have a tile drain loan application number 2601 for the SOB, and it is for the garden farm, the greenhousery that they have. And it's for the property as described as 30762 Clacton Road. Christine Saab has submitted a request for a tile drain loan in the amount of $20,500 to finance the drain improvements on the property legally described as Mosa Concession 2, South Part Lot 24 and 25. The proposed works include the installation of a subsurface tile drain system to improve soil and crop yield potential. The proposed outlet for the drainage is the Ritchie number 2 drain, which you can see on the map. The application has been reviewed by myself and the drainage superintendent for completeness and compliance with the Tile Drainage Act and municipal policies. There have been no significant concerns that were identified under the review, and the municipality will recover the full cost of the loan, including any applicable interest and administrative fees, through a debenture that would be collected the same as property tax over 10 years, if it's approved by the province. And the financial risk to the municipality is considered low. In the event of default, any amounts that are unpaid would be collected the same as taxes. Happy to answer any questions.
Good. Thank you very much. Looks like we're well covered there. Yes, go ahead, Councillor Vink.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. To Denise, we haven't had a tile loan for a while, so I'm just kind of curious what interest rate does the municipality charge
So currently, the current day, it follows the IO, the Infrastructure Ontario, and that's currently sitting at 3.66. Municipality, according to the tile drain application process, it adds another 2%. So it'd be 5.66% if it was debentured today. What happens is the work will be completed, the invoice will be finalized, and the final amount will come in. And then right before I take it for debenturing, it will be whatever rate I can negotiate at that time. If I can get a better rate other than IO, if I can get a bank rate, we'll go that way as well. But I will do my due diligence to make sure that the rate is kept as minimum as possible.
Good, sounds good. Any other questions? Council, the recommendation is before you. The chair asks you, what's your pleasure? To accept it? Deputy Mayor Schuldice, is there a seconder? Councilor Vink. Last call for questions. Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Denise, thank you very much. Public Works, none at this time. 8.5, Community Services and Facilities, none. Fire, none. 8.7, Building, none. Planning, none. I have not been advised of any notices of motion. Unfinished business, there is none. New business, there is none. County Council and conference updates, they've been included. Council, any announcements? Yes, Councilor Vink.
Mayor Allen, I just thought I'd announce that I was at the James Walk in Wardsville
Mhm,
on May the 2nd. Although Ken Willis was the host,
mhm.
and of course, he took exception. It wasn't called James Walk, it was called Ken's Walk.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's a very knowledgeable person. Some of the buildings that we were looking at went back to 3 generations
Yeah.
that he knew. And of course, he's on YouTube now too, on your Wardsville.
Yep.
And I've seen a few of the videos. The community hall was built 1931. There's a new flag at Wardsville Museum made by Dave Lacheski. And so that's just a few of the highlights of the tour.
Yep. Ken's very knowledgeable about Wardsville history, no question about it. Yep. And did he show you where the automobile manufacturing facility was?
I didn't hear everything, unfortunately, so I don't know if he did or not, because we only went on the main drag
Yeah.
and
there's,
then came back towards, and we had an unfortunate incident too, because we were at Longwoods and Haggerty Road,
mhm.
and somebody was coming down the hill and lowered the window and started yelling at us that we were
Right.
blocking the view.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll have to tell that to the county.
So,
Yeah, you know, the nature of constituents in Ward 3 can be like that, you know, sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna defend Ward 3 here. I mean, this was clearly another town than the first one.
Okay, no problem. No, it's good. And I'm sure you saw the historical mural that is located there as well. Yeah, that's good. Any further announcements? I know we have that Presbyterian dinner coming up.
Yep, I've still got tickets for the Glencoe Presbyterian Church pork barbecue, Saturday, May 30th. It's a drive-through from 5 till 6:30 p.m. Meat by app and barbecue, and the tickets are $25 each, advance tickets only. So if anybody's interested in tickets, I've still got more. And then this weekend is the Fair Board Gala on Saturday night, and I believe it's sold out. 450 tickets sold. And also Friday and Saturday, there's it's a barbecue too. Rib Fest at Simpson Park. This Friday and Saturday.
I
Yeah.
believe it's Sunday as well. They've extended to 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Mark, any further announcements? I just want to remind council that tomorrow we're looking forward to Middlesex Day 2026. It's right in the Ag building here, and it's just a great opportunity to have a nice little lunch and hear from a few of our local business people, both on the manufacturing and service end. So we're pleased with that, and it is a warning that'll go by very quick. Registration starts at 8:30. Gavel comes down at 9 sharp. We begin the meeting, and it'll be a great little morning. So hope all can attend. Anything else? Council, we're making good time here, and I want to make sure that everyone earns their money here today. So I'm going to bring something up, and I know I'm pushing the envelope a little bit when it comes to announcements, but I was at a meeting the other day in Strathroy that I think I should mention to you, and I think I'm going to take this opportunity to do so as head of council. It was the Lower Thames Valley Board Planning Meeting, and they have it every year. I've made presentations in the past, and I think they determine what the changes in the educational market is, what the schools are doing, and they pointed out 2 schools that are not full capacity, and one was North Middlesex, and of course, as we all know, it was Middlesex High School, and budgeting is really tight with these people. And I think, and I've chatted with Amanda on this, by the way. Next year, they'll have this annually. I think next year, I won't be here, but I may drop in and visit Amanda and just remind her that, this Thames Valley Board is coming up and that someone from council should make a presentation in regard to that. I attended that meeting and I did a verbal presentation. And in the past, I've always told them that we have these subdivisions that are approved on the go, and the population of Southwest Middlesex is going to increase. And quite honestly, I think they're tired of hearing that. And I mean no disrespect by the words I'm going to use here, but they've been used by all professional levels at that meeting. Is that their decisions have to be made by bums in the chairs. That's what they have to have. And when you talk about additional housing and things like that, we know that the market slowed up. We know the interest rates were a little bit higher than what the developers wanted. But I really think that, and what they want ideas from the municipality, what they can do with those empty platforms. And I think that's where our focus has to be. In my travels throughout the municipality, and when I get engaged with the business, I always ask, what are our shortcomings? What can we do to help the business community? And I remember going to Pennant Industries, and their primary concern with the municipality is that when they have a shift that's done at 6, and that individual has children in elementary school that get out at 3:30, they're in a real pickle. Okay, these aren't the little kids that go to the daycare. These are the kids that are 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, 12 years old, that have no place to go, and they need that after-school daycare until their shift ends, and that is the biggest problem that Pennant Industries have right now. So maybe something like that we can look at. If they have an empty classroom at that high school, maybe we can work with someone, whether it's the YMCA or we just look at the private sector, if there's someone that would be interested in doing that. But if we want to keep our high school open, we're going to have to come up with ideas in these classrooms. I think the development of Southwest Middlesex is going to come. There's no doubt about that. But when you're at 35% capacity, you got a long ways to go before you get into the 70, 75. So we're going to have to do some work on that. I've given several presentations in the past, but I think when I look at it, this mayor will have to pull up the socks to come up with some ideas on that. Future mayors will as well. I even mentioned to our CAO that it would be interesting if it was brought before economic development. Committee, that even if there's some ideas there that can take around, because as you all know, I think I think all of us want a municipality that has a high school. And we're going to have to come up with some ideas if we want to keep it. And don't forget that Thames Valley Center don't always call the shot here. It's now in the hands of the province of Ontario. They are legislated to have a 2% reserve of their budget, and their budget is over $1 billion. And they have no reserves. And they're not supposed to run a deficit. And I think this year they ran approximately a $13 million deficit. So it's tight. I just, you know, they didn't say that word, but from the numbers given, it appeared that, you know, there's going to be, there could possibly be some hard decisions come down from the province of Ontario. So we're going to have to get creative. Okay. Thanks very much. I just wanted to advise you of that. Okay. We'll move on. Closed session. There is none. Yeah. And there's no notices of motion on hockey this time. That's the first meeting we've had for some time that we haven't had one of those, eh? So. Business arising from the closed session, none. Bylaws. Let's take them one by one. Bylaw. Being a bylaw to establish a joint Middlesex County 2026 election compliance audit committee. 17.2, bylaw being a bylaw for a collection of costs of repairs and maintenance of municipal drainage works completed in 2025.
And maybe,
Yes,
could I ask Denise a question about that?
sure.
I mean, I remember at budget time, you were talking about how you'd like to speed up collections. And I wondered if that was being done in this case. Like, I think in the past, maybe we waited until after the 1/3 had been received from the province and then build it out.
Yes.
And have you built this out even before the monies come from the province?
Yes, Councillor McGill through Mayor Mayhew. Yes, that is the case. It has happened various different ways in our history, and we have booked we have put into OMAC for the grant. We have booked the grant into our general ledger, so we're expecting that. We are billing these out. These, once this is approved by council, the invoices will be going out in the next week or two. And we're also providing them additional information on how they can pay their bill and how they can also process it over a debenture. And then once we have all that back from the ratepayers who are affected, then we will immediately go to debenture rather than waiting for the next year. So yes, the money flows back into the municipality quicker this way, but also giving our ratepayers more options.
When Mark, you gonna follow?
Yeah, yeah. And how often do you put into the province for that 1/3 grant?
It's once a year. So the deadline is February 28th of every year, and it's a cumulative. So some of these drain maintenance may have not been completed in 2025. There's a $500 threshold, but they're not, all of the ones that we're putting in for the grant are at that threshold, and the drainage works have been put in, and it's once a year. And then we usually, fingers crossed, we usually get it within the calendar year that we bill it out, but sometimes it comes in a little bit later in the next year.
Okay, there, Mark.
No, that's good. It's good to
Okay.
see that all this drain work is getting done. There's an awful lot of drains and there's an awful lot of maintenance required.
Well, we all share that opinion. Okay, bylaws. Bylaws have been, and the last one, of course, is the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council. In regard to bylaws 17.1 through 17.3, is there a mover that the bylaws be adopted as presented? Councilor McCollum, Councilor Haggett. Any further questions? All in favor? Carried. Council, May 20th, we got a 6 o'clock meeting, and in June 3rd, we got a 1:30 meeting. And that brings us to almost a record close. A motion for adjournment at 1:54. Okay, Councilor Myers, seconder for that. Counselor Vink. All in favor? Carried.